All right, let's talk about ZTE. Joining me, member of the House Armed Services Committee, Democratic Congressman John Garamendi of California. Congressman, thanks for joining us so early. Very much appreciate it. Good morning to you. So President Trump on Sunday announcing on Twitter that he and Chinese President Xi Jinping are going to work together to get phone company ZTE back in business. What's your reaction to this?
Strange. Absolutely strange. I can't figure out what this president's talking about. He spends his entire campaign talking about American jobs and then comes out with an announcement that his real concern is jobs in China, Chinese jobs in China. It makes no sense to me at all. I'm not sure what his strategy is. And what you just talked about, the emoluments clause is in the Constitution. And the White House can't duck its responsibility here. This is just out of control.
Why do you think that Americans' security and safety is at stake here?
Well, certainly if we're allowing this Chinese company that has already at least been accused of by the Department of Commerce of breaking the sanctions, that is providing material aid to North Korea in violations of the sanctions, and then the company getting sanctioned by the United States, and now the president reversing that. Maybe there's some hidden agenda here having to do with the North Korea meeting coming up later this month. I don't know. But it really is strange for this president to be so concerned about jobs in China when, on one hand, not so long ago, he was saying 70,000 American manufacturing companies have disappeared and gone to China. And now he seems to be promoting Chinese jobs, Chinese manufacturing. So
after the president's tweet on Sunday, he sort of followed it up and said, be cool, it's all going to work out, acting as if he's really in the driver's seat here. But I understand that you think that China's in the driver's seat here with this negotiation.
Well, certainly China is. We know that the North Koreans were certainly going to respond more to China than they are to the United States. Quite probably the breakthrough on the North Korean negotiations had a great deal to do with Kim Jong-un's trip to Beijing, first ever for him, and the Chinese back and forth on whatever discussions they may have had. So certainly China is extremely powerful in this situation. They are the, I would say, the protector of North Korea, and not much is going to happen in North Korea until China agrees that that's what should happen. We'll see what goes on. I'm pleased that the negotiations are going to go forward. I am perplexed and don't understand why the president seems to be so concerned about jobs in China rather than in the United States.
All right, Congressman, I want to send it to my colleague, Ayman Mohyeldin, who's standing by in Jerusalem with a question for you. Ayman.
Certainly.
Hey, Congressman, great to have you with us this morning. Sir, I know that you're one of the few who has spoken out about the violence that is taking place in Gaza. Are you at all concerned by what we are seeing unfold here in the wake of this U.S. Embassy opening? We've heard human rights organizations describe it as a war crime. You've got 8-month-old babies that died. A paraplegic man was shot and killed by the Israelis. How concerned are you about what we are seeing here and the reaction from the White House?
Well, I think all of us, wherever we happen to be in this world, needs to be concerned when people are dying. But we ought not be surprised. Let's remember that the previous 3 presidents have all said that the capital of Israel is Jerusalem and that the embassy belongs there, but they did not move the embassy there because they suspected that this exact demonstration and violence and tragic deaths would occur as a result of it. And then that move to the establishment of the embassy in Jerusalem came just a week after the Iran nuclear deal was thrown out the window. So there's many, many reasons. We all suspected that Iran, using its proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah, would in one way or another create a very tense and dangerous situation. It is coming to pass now. Hopefully the whole thing will cool down, although the long, long history between the West Bank, Gaza, and Israel is one in which it's tit for tat. And right now it's headed in a very, very dangerous direction. We ought to find ways to cool it down, try to prevent any more violence taking place. But I'm not hopeful. It looks very, very bad.
Congressman, really quickly, there has been almost a deafening silence coming out of Capitol Hill, including your own party, talking about the violence coming out of Gaza. Are you at all disappointed with the Democratic Party, which has been absolutely silent on what is taking place here?
Well, I think it's our responsibility, every human's responsibility, and certainly those of us that have these elected positions, to speak out and to do the very best we can to find paths to peaceful resolution of very, very difficult and very, very long-lasting controversies. Certainly, Israel has a right to protect itself. The ensuing violence that came about as a result of the demonstrations is tragic. Laying blame one place or another isn't going to do much good here. What would do good is try to cool it down. Let's figure out how we can find paths forward. Obviously, you know, that may sound like a pie in the sky and some unnecessary hopefulness, but we have to continue to try. It is all of our responsibilities, and certainly those of us in Congress bear an even heavier burden.
Well, Congressman, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thanks so much.